Let me just read out some portions on what this gentleman Shah Waliullah Dehlavi wrote to Abdali, inviting him to invade Bharat, which resulted in the Battle of Panipat. Because in that debate with Mr. Owaisi, he effectively said, Fatwa Alamgiri was written in Bharat, therefore it must be treated as a Bharatiya document. His statement was, अरे इसको तो यहाँ पे लिखा गया है, तो अब इसको भारतीय कैसे नहीं मानेंगे? Which is why I had to push him to ask, इसका जड़ क्या है, नींव क्या है, भारत के हैं या बाहर के हैं? That is why I had to ask that basic question. Now, I will read out portions of this particular scholar, who is the forefather of Deoband, Ahle Quran, Ahle Hadith, all the movements in Bharat since the 1700s. He was practically a third or a fourth generation settler in Bharat. But did he see himself as an Indian or a Bharatiya? Let me just read out from his own words. I hail from a foreign country. My forebears came to India as emigrants. I am proud of my Arab origin and my knowledge of Arabic. For both of these bring a person closer to the Sayyid of the ancients and the moderns, the most excellent of the prophets sent by God and the pride of the whole creation. In gratitude for this great favor, I ought to conform to the habits and customs of the early Arabs and the Prophet himself as much as I can, and to abstain from the customs of the Turks and the habits of the Indians. Clearly, birth in Bharat alone does not make someone Bharatiya, since more than race or ethnicity, it is the consciousness of being Bharatiya that matters. As long as the consciousness refuses to embrace the Indic element, it remains alien, notwithstanding claims of accrual of nativity by birth. This is my response to Mr. Owaisi. Dehlavi's commitment to Middle Eastern consciousness is clear from his will, in which he called upon his heirs and his successors to give up the customs of pre-Islamic Arabs and the Hunud, which of course was a reference to Hindus. One of the things that is common to pre-Abrahamic religions across the world is the worship of ancestors, Pitr. No wonder you perform the Pitr Puja, the Shraddh during that particular period. This is common across the world. From Latin America to Japan, this is common to all non-Christian, non-Muslim cultures. Imagine being pushed into a particular system that is asking you to disrespect your ancestors because they do not come from a particular faith and brands your entire past as an age of jahiliyyah or ignorance. That is the fundamental distinction between your way of life and the Abrahamic way of life, which effectively says, sever your roots with all your ancestors. That is to say, पितरों को छोड़ ही दो पूरी तरह से.